Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind closed doors, in the homes that look so peaceful from the outside? In the quiet streets where families seem perfectly ordinary, secrets can fester and darkness can grow, hidden from the world. Today, I'm diving into the tragic case of Eileen Barrett, a story that's as disturbing as it is heartbreaking, and one that forces us to confront the reality of domestic violence. Eileen was a dedicated nurse at St. James's Hospital in Leeds, England. She was known for her compassion and her tireless work ethic, always putting her patients first. She spent her days caring for others, but at home, her own life was falling apart. The warmth she gave to her patients was missing from her own marriage. Her husband, Mark Barrett, had grown obsessed with the idea that Eileen was hiding something. He tracked her movements, read her messages, and became increasingly controlling. Jealousy poisoned every corner of their marriage, turning love into suspicion and trust into fear. Mark's paranoia only grew with time, and Eileen felt more and more trapped. On August 15, 2021, everything reached a breaking point. The tension that had been simmering for months finally exploded. Mark discovered text messages on Eileen's phone. To him, these messages were proof of betrayal, even though the truth was far more complicated. He believed these messages proved she was having an affair, and that she was planning to leave him. The idea of losing control terrified him. That day, Eileen finally told him she was done. She was leaving for good, determined to reclaim her life and find safety for herself and her children. But instead of letting her go, Mark snapped. The attack was brutal, fueled by years of resentment and unchecked anger. Mark struck Eileen in the head with a hammer, leaving her with a severe injury. The violence was sudden and shocking, a horrifying escalation of his jealousy, but it didn't end there. The house, once filled with the sounds of family life, was now silent and cold. He left the house, only to come back later, unable to leave things unfinished. When he found Eileen still alive, he strangled her. The final act of violence was cold and calculated, ending her life and shattering their family forever. The violence was chilling, and it robbed two children of their mother forever. Their lives would never be the same, haunted by loss and trauma. After the murder, Mark fled. He tried to escape the consequences, running from the horror he'd created. He tried to disappear, first hiding out in an Airbnb in Scotland, hoping to avoid the police and the inevitable reckoning. Then, desperate and alone, he sought refuge in a monastery garden, surrounded by silence but unable to escape his guilt. But the police caught up with him 4 days later. His attempt to vanish had failed, and justice was closing in. In court, Mark claimed he just wanted to wake Eileen up. He even pleaded diminished responsibility, blaming years of mental health struggles. But his words rang hollow in the face of the evidence. But the jury didn't buy it. They saw through his excuses and recognized the pattern of abuse that had led to this tragedy. They saw the years of controlling, obsessive behavior, the manipulation, the isolation, the constant surveillance, the tracking, the paranoia, the way Mark tried to control every aspect of Eileen's life, leaving her feeling powerless and afraid. The fear Eileen had shared with her friends. She had confided in them about her worries, but even they couldn't have predicted the horror that would unfold. Eileen's story is a reminder of how jealousy can turn deadly, and how domestic abuse can hide in plain sight, even in the most ordinary of homes. Her son called Mark a monster and said he lost his best friend that day. The pain of losing a mother, a confidant, and a source of love is unimaginable. I can't even imagine that pain. The grief, the anger, and the questions that will never be answered. If you or someone you know feels unsafe at home, please remember, help is out there. You are not alone, and there are people who care and want to help. No one deserves to live in fear. There is always hope, and there is always a way out, no matter how dark things may seem. Thanks for listening to this difficult story. By sharing Eileen's story, we honor her memory and raise awareness about the dangers of domestic abuse. Don't forget to subscribe for more true crime cases that need to be heard. Your support helps us shine a light on stories that matter. Stay safe and take care of yourselves and each other. Remember, together, we can make a difference.